Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to the Shrewsbury Biscuit podcast. The voice of Shrewsbury, I've been told. It's the voice of Shrewsbury. So welcome to the show. It's me, Alex Whiteley, and joining me today is someone I get so many press releases come through and things I have to read and look through, and some things we can't help with because they're like in 3 days, lots of texts, and we're an audio show, so there's not a lot we can do, but this one caught my eye and I was kind of, this is going to be an interesting thing to talk about. So I would like to welcome Stephanie Henson from 6 Ticks. Thank you very much for joining me.
Hi, thank you. Good morning.
So my morning, the morning I read this press release was very slow. I was just getting from work. I was like, let's have a look what's going on in the emails. And I think it was an email from Claire from Shropshire Think Tank. And she was like, have a look at this, Al. So I did. And I don't know what happened then.
I don't know what happened there either.
It just me out. Oh, great. This is exactly what I need. So anyway, I was reading for this email and it said, we were talking about the tech timeout. And I thought that makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense that, technology is taking over our lives, especially during the pandemic. It seems like a healthy option just to be like, okay, we'll have a day away or a few hours away or 10 minutes away over here. And then I read it was made by somebody that runs a media group that makes technology, and I was just like, wow, okay. So where does this come from? Where does this come from, Steph?
So it's a bit of a paradox, I guess, but it's
exactly.
Yeah, actually fits in quite well, and it's a question that I get quite a lot. Like, you run a tech business, but you're also telling us that we need to have a healthy relationship with tech. I guess it comes from, I've worked in tech, pretty much my whole life. I am in that kind of millennial bracket, which is kind of 1984 kind of onwards, where we have grown up with tech. So I got my first phone when I was about 12. I started school with a chalkboard, finished with the white fancy ones that the computer ones that are all kind of whizzy, and then spent a lot of time in front of a computer building 6 Ticks, and spending a hell of a lot of time working really hard, working really long hours, working on a really unhealthy relationship with tech that I've had over the years, where I've literally woken up in the morning, been on my phone first thing, looked at a screen for the whole day, been working till early hours in the morning, waking up in the middle of the night to do conference calls because we've got some clients overseas, waking up again in the morning and repeat 7 days a week for months on end. And I got myself into a really crazy state of just fatigue and tiredness, and so why am I feeling like this? And then I guess over the years I've been very conscious and aware of the impact that technology does have on us as a society, and the impact that it has on our ability to communicate. And it was in 2017 that I really, I think I was having lunch with my family, and my 2-year-old niece, who's now not 2 anymore, she's now 5, but she picked up my iPhone, and she was just about to turn 2, and she could take photos and swipe through, and she knew how to unlock my phone. And I thought, wow, that's, and she's 2.
It's
yeah. So then I started. Yeah.
Go on. Sorry.
Sorry. I then started to just be really concerned about it. So I started to think, okay, well, what can we do about this issue? And that's the initial concept of where Tech Time Out was born. It was with I'm genuinely and passionately concerned around the impact that an overuse of tech has on our ability to communicate, our ability to sleep well, our ability to build relationships with people, and our ability to focus and be productive, because it has such a negative impact on that. I guess I know firsthand, because I spend my day job, if you like, in the tech business. We spend time trying to build software that gets people to do what we want them to do, whether that's buy now, shop here, download this. And so we know how manipulative and addictive technology can be, because we build it, because we know.
Yeah, speaking about generations and kind of how things have changed, I'm in the same sort of bracket where, the cool kids in school would have a mobile phone, right? You have your 3310 and you play Snake and you'd be like, oh, I can't wait to get one of those, That was my bracket, right? And we did have the whiteboards and stuff. But my kid, I think his Generation Alpha is like the first fully fledged smart. So I know there's been technology with the previous generation, but babies that are born with tablets and can go on YouTube and drag and all this sort of stuff. My little boy has been using a tablet since he was 2. He can do more with that tablet than I can, and I have to be very careful with it because I'm a parent. I'm a responsible parent. And I do worry about him. I worry about kids like in schools these days, cyberbullying, this sort of thing. Because what kid is not attached to their phone, to a tablet or a laptop?
Absolutely. And I think that's so, Tech Time Out is around. We're not saying don't use your tech, because tech is amazing. I run a tech business. I know the power of tech and how brilliant it is and how it can bring us together and the developments that it can have and the efficiencies that it can build. But we've gone too far. I genuinely, passionately believe we've gone way too far. We are now so addicted to them that we get chemical, releases in our brain. So we get pings of dopamine whenever we receive notifications, which means that if you take that phone away from kind of within arm's reach, people start to get a little bit of anxiety. You start to feel a little bit uncomfortable because we're so attuned to having them so close to us. So we're really just trying to shine a light on that issue. And like you say, this affects not just the workplace, it affects families, it affects kids, it affects people's relationships. It's such an important issue and something that I'm massively, massively passionate about.
Yeah, it does affect. It affects me a lot. I'm running a number of podcasts and my own personal life as well, And if I release a post and it gets like 3 likes, I'm kind of like, "Oi, what's going on here? Like, I'm not good enough. Oh no, I'm not doing that again." It does have a terribly sort of negative effect on you, and you're just doing your job. That's your job, isn't it? Just to tell people who you are and what you're doing, and it does feel bad.
Yeah, it's hard because a lot of it, it's true. Like you do, as far as I do spend quite a lot of time, and that's not a problem. It's around setting the boundaries around when it's okay and when it's not. And I think the key issue that we've all found ourselves doing is when you pick up your phone and you can't really remember why you even picked it up, but you've ended up 4 apps in and you're scrolling through. And you're like, how did I end up here? Like, what am I doing? Okay, let me go back. And then you put your phone down and then you go, I was going to check that email. That's what I was doing. But you saw something, or you were like, I'll just check out Instagram, or I'll just check out Facebook, I'll just check out this other thing and then suddenly you've lost an hour of your life without even realizing.
I do it all the time. I'm responsible for it all the time. I'll be like, I need to message Steph to see if she's coming on the show. Before I know it, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. I'm like looking at the new Marvel Disney news, and I'm like scrolling through Star Wars gossip columns, and I'm like, whoa, well done. That's exactly what I do. About 3 times a day, actually. It's a curse.
It's so addictive. It's so addictive. So we've got as I'm talking to you, and I appreciate this is a podcast, but I know you're on video, so I'll show you that. You'll see this is the current state of my living room, where we've got all sorts of gift tech addict stuff that's Tech Time Out sleeping bags that you can put your phone in order to create a bit of separation. We've got Tech Time Out flags for kids that makes Tech Time Out fun. Because you're right, like kids are like, what, you want to take my tech off me? What, are you crazy? I need it. I think every parent can relate to that. You're trying to get them to come off it, and it's just more hassle than it's worth. So you're like, you know what, just it's fine.
I gotta say, right, last night I had an interesting parental sort of discovery journey. Last night my boy decided he was going to try and stand up to me for no reason. Apparently he's 5. And we were putting the shopping away, and I handed him this bag of cheese. I was like, "Can you put that in the fridge?" And I think he was just like testing the water a little bit. He was like, "You got legs, haven't you?" So I was like, "Oh no, don't do that to me, man." I was like, "All right, go to bed." So do this the parental thing. And I sat down with him. I was like, "Look, if you do that again, I'm going to take YouTube off you for a day." Oh my God, he broke his heart. He absolutely broke his heart. I'm sure that kid's addicted to YouTube. I think it's healthy what you're doing. And I am going to encourage this from a little boy. I think restrictions anyway, we only let him sort of have an hour max, on his tablet. I think it's really important what you're doing. The sleeping bags are a great idea, because sometimes my eyes, my hands, my body hurts from like posting posts on the biscuit and stuff like that. So sometimes I pop my phone the other side of the room and go sit on the sofa away from it, because I don't want to look at it,
Yeah, and it's great. I think that there's some small things that you can tweak or adapt into your own kind of what's comfortable for you. So there's no right or wrong with this. There's no right right, Alex, you've got to never use your phone. You've got to only use it like an hour a day. Like, it's just not going to work, right? Because we need to use tech in our lives. But what I encourage people to do is just think about and ask the question. So am I currently happy with my use of tech? Like, on a scale, like, how do I feel? Do I feel like, you know what? I think I'm okay. I've got really good boundaries. Like, I'm feeling good. Or do I feel like, you know what, actually, sometimes I do feel like I overdo it a bit and that I am on my phone a bit too much. And then you go, okay, well, why are you on your phone too much? Is it because you're bored? Is it because you've got nothing else to do? Is it just because you're because of habit? Is it because we've been stuck in our four walls all year and we're literally like crawling at the walls to like do something else, and it's a really nice distraction for us? And all of these are really legitimate reasons why people do, you know, turn to their phones. But, you know, making small changes can be quite impactful, like you've just said. So, you know what, put the phone, when you come in and sit down at the end of the day, don't put your phone on the coffee table. Like, why not leave it in the kitchen, or put it on the other side of the room, where if you're going to watch TV, don't watch TV and then scroll through social media and then kind of have a half conversation with your partner and like half ignore each other because you're both scrolling through stuff. Like, that's again, it's something that happens quite a lot. And that, I think there was a moment in my own life where, you know, you wake up in the morning and the first thing you do before you even say hello to your partner is check your phone. It's like, that's more of a priority, which is insane.
I mean, for me, I wake up and because I run the Biscuit and I run USUC, and but when I wake up, I've got like 20, 30, sometimes 40 notifications on Facebook alone, and I got to go through them all. And Facebook, Instagram's crazy, my emails, I have to check everything before I get out of bed and start my day, because I might miss something. You know, something important, an email. I don't know. You might have emailed me this morning, gone, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I got the flu, I can't come on the show," and I'd feel bad for missing that. You know, it's just one of those things. That's responsibility, though, isn't it? And that's where drawing the fine line, though, isn't it? I guess is what's responsible and what isn't responsible. Are you paying coin tipper? Is that really important? You know, Flappy Bird, like, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so addictive. I mean, you talk about Snake on your old 3210s, and, you know, God, you used to be on that for like hours, like but tech is now, I mean, it's developed so much. So even to the point where, you know, when you're on, you know, like WhatsApp tells you when the other person's typing. They do that to kind of make you stay on it a bit longer. Or when you're on Facebook and you reply to a comment, and then you see those little like 3 dots that just like it means that someone else is typing. So you're like, oh, I'll just stay here. I'll just stay here for another minute and just see like what comes back. So the aim of the game with tech is to keep people on it for as long as possible, because then that's how these, you know, that's how it all works. So we're really advocating for people to just restore the balance a bit and just really think about their own tech habits and make some small adjustments that will then help them with their, you know, communication skills, their ability to focus. That so many people that I speak to that really struggle with, they get to the end of the day and they've been working all day, like, and I don't, they've been working hard all day, get to the end of the day and they're like, but I haven't done anything, because they're spending so much time like jumping between different things. Like, right, I'll just do that, and then I'll do this, then I'll do the other, and I'll do that. And then their to-do list with like 4 things on it, they haven't even looked at, because they've been so busy like fleetering between things. And that is a result of this continual bombardment of information that we get from our phones, from our notifications.
It's a nightmare. It is a nightmare. And sometimes I'll be sat in the studio, I'll be in the parade, I'll be getting, I don't know, I'll just set up, waiting for my guest to come in, and I'll be sat there on my phone. But what I'm doing is I'm filling in spreadsheets, I'm sending emails, I'm putting on links of social media, I'm speaking to my teammates, I'm actually networking. I'm building an empire. This phone for me, people have got to understand, this is the most powerful thing you carry around in your pocket, this phone. Like, and you can create businesses and empires from it, and you can create relationships, and you can destroy relationships, you know. It's
I totally agree. Like, I mean, I've been working quite agilely for years, so, you know, I've been working remotely for years, so I can work anywhere, you know. And you're right, like this phone, I can do if my laptop's broke, I could pretty much do everything that I need to do from this. You know, pretty much. I can access everything's in the cloud. I can run Teams, run meetings, you know, send emails, everything that you need to do. But then where does it come to a point where you're like, well, what do I need to do, and what do I want to do, and what am I doing because I'm not really thinking about it? So like, I agree with you, like I couldn't live without this, and that's true. Like, I'm not saying to throw it away. I'm definitely not.
No, like, can you imagine? So what's the did you have a look at the science behind this then? Obviously there's genuine, like, you were talking about dopamine levels and kind of, anxiety and stuff.
Yeah.
People get addicted to their phones, right? Genuinely addicted.
Genuinely addicted, yeah. So there's a few stats that are knocking around, and I'm always really interested in how, it fits into how people feel and also how they're able to conduct their day. So you said about notifications, so that's a really interesting topic around. So I challenge you, Alex, to turn off your Facebook notifications.
Oh gosh.
Honestly, because I am a massive advocate of this. If you look at my phone, I have no notifications on my phone because I decide when I want to go and check WhatsApp. I decide when I want to go and check Facebook because I'm going to still go and check it. I guarantee you turn your notifications off, you are going to go and check it because, like you say, whenever you go on there, there's loads of stuff on there. So even if you checked it like once an hour, that's probably going to be less disruptive to your day than if you are continually having things pinged at you all day long, every day. And that's
the thought of it just gives me anxiety. The thought of it just like turning off my Facebook notification because I like Facebook, like it's not my life. That's really sad to say, but I run like 3 different pages on there. I'm an admin for a huge podcast group that, they relies on their admins to stop people from spamming and trying to be a bit naughty, just the thought of stepping away from them responsibilities is kind of like, ugh.
Yeah, but that's it. You're not stepping away from your responsibilities. You're not. You're just instead of the phone telling you and dictating your time, saying, right, look at me, Alex, look at me now, look at me now, look at me right now. I want you to do this right now. You're going, you know what? I'm going to look at you in 10 minutes time when I'm having a cup of tea or when I'm ready to kind of look at that. And the reason behind that is because on average, it takes 23 minutes to get back into a task that you were doing before you got distracted. So you're like doing something and then a little ping like pops up and I'm like, oh, I'm just gonna have a little look see at this and then I respond to it, whatever, and then I'm like, right, and the research shows that it takes 23 minutes for me to now get back into the task that I was doing. Now, if you think about the amount of notifications that people get on a daily basis and the amount of times that you pick up your phone, so on average it's about 58 times a day that we pick up our phones, and our screen time is around about 7.5 a day on average. Some people might be more, some people will be less.
7.5 hours.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Times that by the amount of notifications or distractions that you get, it's really easy to see why people get that fatigue where they get to the end of the day and they feel like they've not achieved anything, because our ability to focus is being hampered severely by the fact that our phone is beeping at us. Then also, if you think about what other devices do you have? Do you have a Fitbit? Do you have
I have everything. I got smartwatches, laptops, I got tablets, I got everything.
Yeah.
I need it.
And that's it. And then you've got all of these things beeping at you throughout the day, and it does just it numbs your ability to be able to focus properly. And it's something I'm a huge advocate for, and it will change your life.
I agree. And do you know what? I've actually lost, because we're in the process of moving. I've lost my charger for my watch, my smartwatch, and I don't miss it. I don't miss that watch. I miss not being able to tell time. I have to look at my phone. I'm like, oh, what's the time it is? But like, that's a genuine thing. I just miss. I miss the time. I don't miss the vibration going off my arm when I'm trying to sleep because I've done a night shift. I have to take that watch off sometimes because I'm just when I'm driving. So I'm like, no, I'm doing 70. Stop.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, so I'm a huge advocate of tech for good. So you use tech in a way that's going to help us and help and benefit us, and that's healthy. I do find that, because I had to take my own Fitbit watch off because I was just finding it just too much. This thing beeping at me all the time and telling me that I'm not moving enough or whatever. It's just, how to make you feel rubbish about yourself. Like, you're not moving enough. You're like, yeah, I know, because I'm really busy right now. I'm in a meeting and I'm not able to get up and walk around. Like, it doesn't understand that. So,
I love the thing I love about the watch is it tells you your message before you. It doesn't show that you've read the message; it stays unread. So if it's Shane, my Shane from the Biscuit, going, "Oh, Alex, we need to change this up to this." I'm like, "You can wait. Goodbye." Right? That's it. That's the only thing I love about that. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Well, Yeah.
It's true what you're saying. It is true. It's all about prioritizing what's healthy and what's important. What's the feedback been like? Because obviously this happened on the 1st of December, didn't it? Is this something that's going to be ongoing now it's launched?
So the campaign Tech Time Out Tuesday went really well. We've had some brilliant feedback from people around. Actually, I found it really helpful. I really enjoyed having that time out. Had a huge response. I think we had 350 businesses that engaged. And then across the employees, so we reached tens of thousands of people. We had 50 odd thousand hours pledged in terms of people taking tech time out on Tuesday, which was amazing. And now we're really we've got a few different things that we're up to. So we've got lots of things that we're going to be doing next year. So we've got programs for workplaces to enable them to have and encourage their employees to have a healthier relationship with technology. And then we're also partnering with some universities in order to build a program around supporting students, because they're obviously a big topic of conversation at the moment with everything that's happened this year with COVID. And we would also like to build the program into schools as well to kind of help kids with this issue and kind of raise the awareness earlier. So on top of that, we've also got, like I said, the programs for employees, and then we've also got some stuff and resources on the website and some merchandise for individuals as well. So there's lots of stuff that we're going to be doing. It's all about trying to share the message and build our brand ambassadors. So if people are passionate about this, we'd love for them to get involved and get in touch with us so that they can help share this message and help us get this out as far as possible as well.
Amazing. I just got to say, my wife is working behind me. She's just on a phone call. Is there any chance we can pause just for a little second? I'm really sorry.
That's fine.
Pause. Yeah. Okay, and we're back in the room. So sorry about that. So you've had really good feedback, and where are you going to go with this then? Do you think it's going to grow? Because obviously, I think that one of the important things is COVID, obviously, the pandemic, because I guess there's been a high intensity sort of usage of technology, Skype, what we're doing right now, boredom, PlayStation, Xbox, it's just one of those things where I imagine it's just been immense, the amount of data people have been using during lockdown.
Yeah. I mean, it has, and it's been a godsend for a lot of people, so it's been really helpful to be able to communicate with family and friends and have these conversations, but it's just, you can't always, it's gone too far. So I think where this is going is we want to get this on the national agenda. So in the same way that you have drink aware, so people are very aware of the time that they spend drinking and the amount of units that they have per week, but there isn't that national awareness of or concern, or there is concern, but no one's doing anything about this. It's an issue that everyone's aware of. Everyone that you speak, no one has said to me, "Oh, Steph, I've got no idea what you're talking about. I think my relationship with tech is fine." Everyone that I've spoken to is actually this is a bit of an issue, isn't it? And what can we do about it? And Tech Time Out has the answer of what you can do through our programs and resources. And we really want to get it out there on the national agenda to make this an actual thing that people are aware of. So things need to be, considered in terms of your tech use, in terms of the amount of time that you're spending on tech, because it does have a massive impact on your mental health, on your ability to communicate, on your relationships. And because you're not, if someone's got an alcohol problem, it's very easy to spot, because the tech issues and the tech addictions, it's something that everyone has, and it's now socially acceptable. It's almost that no one's doing anything about it. So we've got massive ambitions for where we want to take this. So it's not the end by any means.
Fantastic. I mean, you were on IT. Did you ask to go on ITV, or you've been on ITV? What's the issue there?
Yeah, so we were interviewed by ITV this week, so that's going out in a couple of weeks around, is it going to be a virtual Christmas this year and what the impact on tech has. So we're waiting to kind of see that come in. So that was very exciting this week. And we've got a few other bits and pieces coming up on the agenda next year that I can't talk about yet, but there's a lot going on.
We'll have to twist your arm next time we see you as to what's going on. I think what you're doing is fantastic. Tech Time Out is really important. I mean, I do worry about my kids. I do. And, we are moving into a future where it's all touchscreen now. 5G's just been launched. Things are getting better, quicker, faster. And it is all eye-grabbing. Like you said, all this technology is designed to manipulate. And I do worry about that with my kids. I worry about he's playing this game, this game with a stretchy little fella that you can stretch around and bash them around and stuff. But after every sort of minute, there'd be like a TikTok advert. Every advert was TikTok, and it was every like TikTok. The brainwashing thing. I was just like, wow, it's so obvious. Like they don't care. It's like, yeah, we do that. Scary.
Yeah, it is, and but I do fundamentally believe that there is a way that we can make adaptations and changes around setting healthier habits and setting boundaries. And it's about setting the boundaries that's right for you as an individual, you as your family, you as your workplace. There's no right or wrong. It's just whatever the boundaries are, that you're aware of them and that you do actively include that in the way that you might go, oh, I've eaten a bit badly this week, or oh, I drank a bit too much this week, or you know what, I think I was on my tech a bit too much this week. I'm going to try and do something about that next week. And I want that to become part of the things that we're thinking about around our health and wellness, because it's so easy to think, oh, I'm feeling really sluggish and I'm feeling really rubbish and I don't really know why. And then you're looking like, well, I've spent the last 3 days glued to my phone because I've had a massive deadline. I haven't slept very well because I was on my phone until 5 minutes before I went to bed, and then it's the first thing I checked first thing in the morning. So yeah, I think there is a reason to be concerned, but it's not like it's all doom and gloom and there's nothing we can do about it. But I do think that people need to
They're taking over. Yeah. I do remember one of the best holidays I ever had was my honeymoon. We went to Egypt, and me and my wife, we traveled before. We'd been all over the world, right? We went to Egypt, and there was no Wi-Fi, none. Like we're in the sticks, like we're in the middle of nowhere. There's no Wi-Fi. One of the best holidays we ever had because we actually spoke to each other. We did stuff together, right?
Yeah.
She's nodding. Yeah. There was like one room. It was an old dining room that nobody used anymore that had Wi-Fi, had the router in there. And you just see these like people who's like, just like Gollum stroking the ring, they're on their phones, and it's just weird.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the other problem that I think, so there's lots of people that blame millennials for a lot of things. Those millennials this, those millennials that, they don't know what a good hard day's work is, and you get a lot of that kind of metric, and then they go into workplaces and they don't quite know how to communicate, or they're not actually too sure how to do some of these things. But actually it's not their fault, because they've been brought up where you don't speak to people if you've got an issue, you text them.
Yeah.
Or you send a message, or you Google something. You don't pick up the phone and ask a question. And then they're being forced into workplaces where that's not how the world works at the moment. In a lot of workplaces, you have to talk to people. And that's another area that we're kind of discussing and working through, is around the skills that people need that they currently don't have because of the use of technology and how they've been kind of adapted, and the new way of communication and how that's now trying to merge with an older way of communication.
I'm a huge fan of intergenerational sort of. I've learned a lot about this. I mean, I mention it on the show a lot, but I've read books and spoke to, world famous Dr. Joanna Dodd-Massey. I spoke to. She's one of the biggest advocates on the planet for this. She's got a book called Culture Shock. Make sure you check that out. It's amazing. And she talks about intergenerational sort of work and how there is a bit of tension between certain generations, and it's all a misunderstanding. It's all a huge misunderstanding, right? Because you could be looking at some 14-year-old going, "What are you doing on your phone?" And he's like, "I'm doing my homework. I got a Word document. I'm typing an essay." Do you know what I mean? Like, you look at some kid looking at his phone, and you could be doing anything on there. Yeah.
Crazy. I think the other thing that's that happens a lot. So something that I actively try and do, and it's not always possible, but if I'm having a conversation, I try and make sure that I'm actively in that conversation, and I'm not, because it's so often that you can be half listening to a conversation and half scrolling through something.
Yeah.
And so I do make it. And then when other people do it to me as well, I just try and stop talking. I'm like, right, they're busy. Let's let them do their thing. They're like, no, carry on. I'm like, no, it's fine. I'll wait until you finish. Because it's called fubbing. So my phone, so to fub someone. So that's me like scrolling on my phone whilst you're trying to talk to me. Fubbing. So yeah, and that's something that's now socially acceptable almost. So you can be in a meeting and people just like casually pulling out their phones, half paying attention. It drives me mad.
Yeah.
Because it's so inefficient. I'm a big one for efficiency. So when I see things that just take longer than they needed to, it winds me up.
I'm with you.
It could have been done in 15 minutes if everyone just put their phones down.
I mean, I know it's quite a negative thing to say. I'm so glad Blackberries aren't a thing anymore, because they clicked. You'd be like, click, 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 click. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Click, 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 click. Yeah. They're just like, ooh, put it down, And have you ever been watching a film that you really want your friend or your partner to watch, and you're watching it and they're scrolling on your phone? It's so annoying. Oh, you're like, watch the film.
I'm sorry. I am that. So I am not a film person at all. I can't concentrate for that long. I don't have that ability to sit and watch something. I can't do it. So I am that annoying partner that will literally do something else, and I will, like listen to it almost. But I'm not that interested in. I'm not. I'd rather be reading or doing something else. I'm a bit of a nerd, I guess. But
I got you. Same as my wife. We've just bought a PlayStation. It's the first time I bought a PlayStation in years. We're playing The Last of Us, which is a horror sort of story game. And I'm like, let's do this. Turn the lights off and get some munchies. Let's do this. And I'm playing, and she's like, scroll. Yeah. Like, can we talk a bit about can we talk about Six Ticks? Where did that come from? When did you start this?
Okay. So Six Ticks. So Six Ticks was founded in 2012. I joined in 2015, and then me and my business partner Ian sort of changed the face of what Six Ticks is and what it does. So Six Ticks is a software business. So we're a digital business. So we build websites, we build mobile apps, and we build CRM systems for small to medium sized businesses. So we also build intranets. We build all sorts of stuff within the software space, mainly around, we look at a lot of customer journey. So how people engage with your brand. So from, if it's, have they heard of you, to we help businesses build their customer journey from someone that's never heard of them, that they land on the website, to building that journey to them being a really loyal customer 5 years down the road, and kind of really focusing on making that as optimized as possible to build people through that funnel. So you get 100 people land on your website. How many people fill in the contact form? How many people can find the information that they're looking for? And we work with our clients in order to make sure that the information that their users are looking for is as easy to find as possible.
Is it a case of working out what's right and what's wrong? Because certain websites really annoy me. Like, I don't know, I'm going to call them out. Shropshire Star, sort your website out, man. Like you click on a Shropshire Star website, it's ad, and they even break up the story, right? So you scroll, you get like get a paragraph, then an advert, and then another paragraph, then an advert. Nobody wants that. Nobody, not one person on this planet wants to look at your website and see that. So, that doesn't work, right? But people will still do it because it's clickbait. Clickbait's an important.
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it? Like, so much clickbait. But people are getting savvy to it. They're like, oh, actually, that looks like a spammy website. I'm not going to go on there. Yeah, definitely. It's around helping people make their so we call it user experience. So you land on a website. How do you feel? Do you find the information that you want? Is it complicated? Is it hard to find? Do you have to phone them? Do you want to phone them? What's your target demographic? Because some people, some businesses will say, oh no, we want all of our clients to phone us. And you go, right, well who's your demographic? And they're like, well, we target, 25 to 45 really. And you're like, right. So do you think 28-year-olds want to pick up the phone? No, not really. How about we add a little contact form, or we add like a live chat, or we add something that enables people to do that? And this is exactly the problem in a way, is because I myself would much rather fill in a contact form or a live chat than pick up the phone and have a conversation with someone if I'm busy. I don't want to pick up the phone to book a reservation. I want to be able to fill in a quick form and whiz it off, and it's just done and dealt with. And it's, we help businesses with that. Look at the mediums of how people want to communicate. And obviously now with social media, it's massive. So you can't just have a website and an email address anymore. You've got to have social media platforms. You've got to be looking at your engagement. You've got to be looking at all this, that, and the other. And there's so much that you can do. So we really help narrow it down for businesses, because sometimes you can feel a bit overwhelmed by it all. And people feel like they have to do everything. I've got to be on TikTok. I've got to be on Facebook. I've got to be on LinkedIn. I've got to have a website. I've got to have an email address. I've got to do a click funnel. I've got to And actually, they spend so much time trying to do so many things. They do them all really badly, and then it's not effective. Whereas if they just focused on one channel and got that right, then moved on to the next one, and then the next one, and then the next one. So we do a lot of almost digital consultancy work in terms of reviewing those customer journeys. And helping people get the information of what they want and helping them get there, and helping businesses capitalize on that is our forte, if you like.
There has been a weird thing that's happened with generations, because I remember a few years ago, if you asked a girl to dance a silly dance in front of a camera, they'd go, no, that's stupid. They would. That was the thing, right? Whereas now it's kind of like they're all doing their, shaking their hair back and forth, they're all doing all this like TikTok stuff. I saw a thing as well. I know Snapchat's dying, right? It's officially dying. But I saw a kid in work, so I'm a support worker. I saw a kid. He took like a picture of the ceiling.
Yeah.
Sent it. And I was like, what was that? And he goes, streaks. And I got to keep my streaks up, innit? I was like, what? And you got to keep this. It's like a game of ping pong.
Right.
So you got to keep the streaks going. And if you leave it for so long, you lose your streak. And I was like, wow. That's what it's going on. You said you find a picture of the ceiling. Wow.
Can you see like how it's so addictive? So they're like, I need to log on and do this thing because if I don't do it, I'm going to lose some sort of online digital currency of credibility.
It's an emoji next to the name. That's it.
Yeah. So it's important. Like, so in the same way, so it feeds into the psychology. So years ago, right, we built our first mobile app in 2015 for a coffee shop, right? And this was, and we built, at its time, it was pretty innovative. It was around, that kind of loyalty point digital card type thing. Yeah. And the reason that it works is because I want points. So if I've got like points on my app, right, I'm never going to uninstall it because it's like currency. And it feeds into that psychology where we want to get points. We want to be on a leaderboard. We want to kind of get an accreditation. And that's the way that all of these social platforms work. So exactly that. The little emoji gives that almost makes you work towards something, and it feeds into that kind of. So gamification is massive, where you get points for things, and it feeds into why it's so addictive. It's just
I almost feel like we should call it the Candy Crush Saga element, because do you remember when Candy Crush Saga came out? Everybody was playing it, but everybody was playing it in unison. They were like, "Oh, what level are you on?" I'm like level 52. You're on 52. You beat 51, and everybody's trying to get a level up on each other. Now it's kind of like people are on level million and stuff like that. But there was a moment when the whole world was just like playing it together, enjoying it together, and it was like that level upmanship type thing that you were just talking about. Yeah.
People love a good bit of points or a good bit of recognition or something like that. But you're right. I mean, I'm struggling with reels. I feel old because I'm like, how do I do a reel? I don't know how to do this. I was literally with my team yesterday. So we've got a marketing student in at the moment, and I was like, right, Gordon, you're gonna have to teach us how to do this because I just don't get it.
It's just TikTok. It's the same as TikTok. You record, you stop, you record, you stop. I did one where I clicked and my coffee appeared. Very easy. But the thing is, I don't have time for that sort of stuff. If anybody's listening wants to come and do some, some social media for the Shrewsbury Biscuit, the world famous, award-winning Shrewsbury Biscuit, get in touch because we need help. The world is changing. And obviously, with 6 ticks, I mean, I was reading your website today. I was had to turn it off because my internet was like, but it mentions honesty. Honesty is really important for 6 ticks, right? So like if I was to, a company, an app wouldn't work for a company. You'd have to say sort of like, nah, don't do that. Don't waste your money.
I turn down probably 90% of app requests that we get that we come through because I go, it's a great idea. It's not going to work. Honesty is so important. I am so frustrated with tech businesses that just take people's money just because that's it. They're like, there's an idea, we'll take your money, it's not going to work, but we'll take your money anyway. It drives me up the wall.
I'd love an app. I would love an app for the biscuit. I think it'd be great, but obviously we don't have the money yet. Maybe next year when we get some money, I'll come see someone and find me an app because that'd be great. Just have a player, I guess Spotify and YouTube Music, all these sort of iTunes, they have that already, don't they? I don't need an app, really, thinking about it.
No. See, and that's exactly what I'd say. You're like, well, what are the channels? What are the other channels that people are already using that you could share the podcasts on? And then,
So there we go. That's problem solved.
There you go. Save you some money.
Would you like to tell people where people can find you for 6 ticks, or if they want to find more information about Tech Timeout? Because I think it's fantastic what you do.
Absolutely. So the probably the easiest, if you want to find me personally, it's probably best to grab me on LinkedIn. So it's Stephanie Henson. In terms of Tech Timeout, just head to the website. So it's techtimeout.co.uk. So there's tons of information on there. There's kind of tips and resources. And if anyone is interested in or feels equally passionate about this and wants to get involved, then please do ping us a note, because we're keen. We're building our brand ambassador program at the moment, where people can get involved and help us share this message even further. And 6 Ticks in terms of tech business is 6 Ticks, which is SIX Ticks, TICKS.com.
It's amazing. If you need a website, you can check them out. I mean, I'm going to completely contradict it, because we've got a website too, and I'm going to contradict that by saying, our website's made by Web Orchard, and they're good too. Pete White at Web Orchard. And what I love about Pete is, right, so I put a thing out saying I need a website building, and those people there's this, I'll do it for this much. I met Pete in Stop Cafe, and I was like, so what I'm going to do is I want to put a website together. I don't have any money. And he's like, go on. I was like, what I'll do is, right, you make me a website, and I'll be like, hey, go to Web Orchard every episode. And he was like, all right. And I was like, okay, cool. He's such a down-to-earth guy.
Web Orchard, I know Pete as well. Yeah, they are good.
Such a down-to-earth guy. But yeah, make sure you check out Web Orchard and 6 Ticks. Steph, you've been amazing. I'd love to, when lockdown's over. Are you based in Shrewsbury in town?
Yeah.
I would love to come and see you guys, have a coffee with you guys, and talk about how maybe we can help out with Tech Timeout, because I think it's a great idea.
Sounds great.
I'd love to, do something. Maybe we can do set ourselves some challenges or something. That'd be good.
Yeah, that sounds great. That sounds really good. Maybe you can get him. We're looking at doing some stuff in the new year. New Year's resolutions and that sort of stuff. So we'll definitely get you involved in that.
That sounds amazing. And of course, when you're listening to this now, guys, it's Monday now. In 2 days' time, you got the Carols on the Doorstep thing that's going on around Shropshire and around the UK, I believe. There's people taking part all over the place. 16th, and it's is it 7 p.m.? Oh, gosh, I should have got this ready. The 16th, and you will go onto your doorstep and you'll sing carols. If you listen to BBC Radio Shropshire, they'll be playing carol music for you to sing along to. I'm going to find this now. Carols on your doorstep. It's oh my god, there's carols on your doorstep in Bristol, Essex. Wow, this taken off. Really has taken off. But it's on December the 16th and on Christmas Eve. And go on to my Shrewsbury website, have a look at what's going on there, because all the details are there, and make sure you take part. It's just a way of the community coming together, a bit like the clapping for the NHS, That's very much what it's like. Stephanie, you've been an amazing guest. Thank you so much for talking to me.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Look forward to I look forward to seeing how you get on with turning off your email notifications. Let's leave Facebook, maybe your emails. Let's see how you get on.
It's I mean, the problem is, right, I have emailed people to come on US UK USUP, my other show, right? I've emailed them and gone, hey, do you want to do something? And then they completely ignored me, and 3 or 4 months later gone, yeah, let's go on. So it's unpredictable. My life is so unpredictable. We're speaking to 2 celebrities tomorrow night. One of them is one of the biggest TV executives on the planet, and he took a month to get back to me. And so I'd miss it. I'm kind of, it's just a crazy world for me. But we'll think of something. We will think of a challenge that I can do that's going to make me feel uneasy, but I've got to do it to prove a point. Okay.
I'll have a think.
We'll have a think. Okay. Stephanie, you've been fantastic. Thank you so much. Guys, I want to give a shout out to the Parade before we get out of here. Parade Shops, where we're usually based. Not going to be there this December. We'll wait to the new year, staying away from those Christmas crowds. But make sure you go in there. I was in there to pick up some equipment yesterday. It looks beautiful. All downstairs, they've got Christmas decorations. Everything's got a nice feel to it. Dale Hints is open again. Vanitas Tattoos is open again. Everything's open again. Make sure you go check out the Parade. Right. We're going to get out of here. Thank you very much, Steph. Thank you very much, listeners. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks.
Peace out.